everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make hops bread. Super simple recipe. Going to show you how to do it by hand from scratch. So you know what that means. You get to take all the bragging rights, all the credit is yours. Let's get started. So hops bread is something that you can typically find in any bakery in Trinidad and Tobago. It's kind of like your most basic form of bread. In France they may have the baguette, or you might have bagels in United States. Trinidad, I feel like hops bread is kind of our national bread, besides roti or something like that. So you would be surprised, you probably have everything you need to make this recipe right at home. You don't even have to go to the grocery. So I'm just going to roll through the ingredients. So here we have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, 1 packet or 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons or 1 ounce of vegetable shortening, and 2 tablespoons or 1 ounce of unsalted butter. And I put them in the same bowl because we're just going to melt them together. 1.5 cups of warm water. The water should be around 105 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have a thermometer, you can easily just kind of give it a feel. It really should not be scalding hot by any means. It needs to be warm, just kind of like a temperature you probably want to take a shower in if you like warm showers. It's the right temperature for the yeast to activate, but not too hot that the yeast would die in the overly hot water. So 105 Fahrenheit or just warm to touch. So depending on where you're located in the world watching this video, you may have to add a little bit more water here and there depending on the humidity and how fast the flour would absorb. So you might want to just keep some water on the side or some water at bay if you need help with incorporation. Okay, so once again, this is kind of like a one bowl recipe. Everything is made all in one. So I have this massive mixing bowl here since we're doing it by hand, just to give myself a lot of working room. So I'm going to add our flour into the bowl. And adding my brown sugar, our 2 teaspoons of salt, packet or 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. And because it's instant yeast, we can just pour it right into the bowl with the ingredients. We won't have to do like a whole blooming or proofing of the yeast beforehand. And I'm just going to take a whisk and make sure that all the dry ingredients are evenly incorporated. Our shortening and butter are melted together. The shortening isn't quite as liquid yet as the butter because it has a higher melting point. But that's fine. It's going to melt into the water when we pour it into our water and then into our mixing bowl. So let's just do that. There we go. Just gonna make like a little bit of a well in the middle of our dry ingredients and then just pour our wet ingredients in. We're gonna do it gradually. So I poured about 3/4 or so in, and I'm gonna start mixing it gently with a spatula. Already, we see some strings of dough starting to form, and we're gonna add the rest of our water, or some of it, I should say. I'm very careful not to just pour all the water in because it's going to kind of knock off the balance of ingredients. We want to make sure that the dough is actually going to speak to us by how much water it needs just by looking at it. Pour the rest in. Okay, and just let that soak in. Okay, already we see we might need some more water, so I'm just going to grab about 1/2 cup, get it to temperature, and then resume. So my hands are clean and I'm actually switching to by hand now. I just added like literally maybe like so about 1/4 cup again, and we're now getting to the texture that we're looking for. And if you're into bread baking and you don't have a KitchenAid or a stand mixer yet, you can get one of these bowls. It's really going to be helpful if you have more space to work with, and you could easily just find these in town or in like a variety store somewhere. You can kind of wash a small child in here if you wanted to. Kidding. So I've been kneading for about 3 minutes now, and it's starting to get nice and smooth. What we want is a very smooth dough, because you know when you get those hops bread and the crust is really smooth and has like a nice crunch to it, that's what we're looking for. So I'm just gonna keep kneading, and I have my flour here, and I'm just gonna add just to make sure that my surface stays nice and dry. So how I like to knead dough is I push with the heel of my hand outward, use this hand and push it in, and then push it out again. So you fold, heel of hand, turn, fold, heel of hand, turn, and you kind of roll with that motion. So like I said, the dough is gonna just talk to you. The more energy you put into it and the more you knead it, you'll see it's just gonna keep getting smooth, and it's really coming together nicely. I'm actually I'm really excited right now because the dough feels so nice. If it needs more water, you will feel it in the dough. It really should be nice and elastic, and it should almost feel like Play-Doh. You shouldn't have to put too much energy into getting it. So you're not kneading it for dumplings, you're kneading it for hops bread. You want a crust, but you also want it to be fluffy inside. So this feels super soft, elastic. So I'm just gonna give it one final little push, like this. Form it into a ball. And that is our dough. So, and I am gonna just place it into our dish here. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of non-stick spray. If you have butter, that's fine too, or oil. And then I'm gonna place it into this bowl, cover it with a tea towel, and let this sit for about 45 minutes or until it is doubled in size. And you wanna put this in as usual, you wanna put it in a very warm and dry space away from any direct sunlight. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes, and this was actually in a really nice warm area in the house. So, and now we're gonna reveal and show you guys how this bad boy looks. And voila, it is more than doubled in size. It's nice and smooth on top. So if you hear a little doggy yapping in the corner, that is my doggy Bethany. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to punch out the excess carbon dioxide that's been built up in this dough. Looks pretty cool, right? Now we're just gonna pull the sides in and kind of pull the dough in on itself. Already you can kind of smell that yeasty smell, or the excess like kind of carbon dioxide that was produced. We're going to shape this dough into, I'm trying to get about 12 equal little rolls. So I have my bench knife here, just a little bit of flour to help things keep things from sticking. I'm gonna split this down the middle. If you don't have a bench knife, a regular knife is fine. I'm just gonna form it into a little log, 2 logs, like this. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. And then from here, we're gonna cut this into 6 pieces. So. Okay, so just kidding, we only got 5. So I'm just gonna gently form this into a ball. So I'm gonna just put in the palm of my hand, like so, push it in, and just kind of give it that kind of motion, twisting it around on itself. My hand is moving gently. Fold it over. A little bit of pressure, forming it into a roll. And then there's something just so relaxing and honest and humbling about making bread that I like. It really forces you to slow down and sort of let nature, which is your ingredients, and the atmosphere that's affecting it, kind of let that do the work. And a lot of the times we want to control and we want to interfere with certain things that we're doing. But bread, which is one of the most basic forms of nutrition, and it's been around for centuries, is just forces you to slow down. I mean, ancestors have been making bread like this, and without machinery, We're just using their instincts. So it's a very, it kind of brings you back down to earth if you can see that. So we have our balls of dough all shaped really nicely, and this is kind of how they're gonna be in this position while it bakes. So we just make sure there's like a little bit of space left. We're gonna now just brush these with a little bit of butter on top, and then let them proof for about 30 minutes until they have again gotten a little bit more plump and fluffy, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. Okay. So it's been about 25 minutes of rest time for our little rolls, and so the reveal is like this. So as you can see, they're like super plump and chubby and ready to be baked and filled with a lot of different treats. I'm definitely putting some cheese on mine when they come out, and I'm just brushing it once again with some butter. So we're gonna put these in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're gonna check them in about 20 minutes or until they are golden brown, and then we will take them out and try it. So let's go. All right, so our bread is out of the oven, our hops bread. You guys, I wish I could be here right now to smell this kitchen. It is off the chain. Looks pretty dang good, I must say. We have some really nice brown on top, and then you can kind of tell, that's why I like to bake in a glass vessel, because you can kind of see that the sides are nice and baked, and you have like crunch on almost all sides, so that's just my kind of thing. So the butter doesn't stop, no it doesn't. I'm just gonna sort of bless it with the butter on top. We have some sliced cheese. I used to use New Zealand cheddar cheese. Some pepper sauce, a little bit of butter, because I mean, you're already in so deep, huh? So I'm just gonna cut one away. Almost like religious sort of silence right now with the breaking of this bread. It's a sacred moment. So I'm gonna hit it with some cheese. That's just my personal favorite. A little bit of pepper. And I mean, what the heck? The butter's here anyway. Might as well, huh? Life is all about the simple pleasures, and I definitely believe that the simple pleasures begin with bread. Nice. So there you guys have it, delicious hops bread. Right now the aromas are just wafting in the air. It smells amazing. I really think you guys should try this recipe out. And if you do, please let me know how it goes. You can tag us in your Instagram pictures and in your Facebook pictures at eatahfoodtt. If you want to see more of me, you can always follow me on Instagram at mzclaire. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets us know that you're watching and that you're enjoying. And if you want to see more fun food videos with me and the rest of the eatahfood family, please subscribe to eatahfood on YouTube. Always a pleasure having you guys in the kitchen with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.